Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by our friends at Madisonville Marine. It is almost time to hit the area lakes, and you want to do so in a boat from Madisonville Marine because you'll have plenty of money left over in your pocket when you do that. They will work with you and your family to find the exact right boat for your needs. Madisonville Marine. All right, want to welcome in the next two members of today's panel. Have a special guest with us today. Only been with us once before. Good to have WATE 6 News Sports Director Michael Spencer right there. Michael, thanks for being with us.
Absolutely.
And right down there, Bob Hodge, of course, freelance contributor to the Knoxville News Sentinel, regular on this show. Hates sitting on that end of the desk.
Yes, I do.
Okay. We knew Bruce Pearl's name would come back up. He is now going to be the John Gruden of basketball, and it's only a matter of time until Tyler Summit becomes that same thing for women's basketball. Mark, you played for Bruce Pearl, coached under Bruce Pearl, loved Bruce Pearl. What is this? Is there a reality here in terms of Tennessee going after Bruce Pearl? What does it do for the program to continue to pine for Bruce Pearl?
Yeah, obviously, I've had a relationship with him for 10, 15 years now. It needs to stop. I mean, he's not coming back. The administration's not going to allow it back. People that want to get all wound up with Dave Hart hiring Donnie Tyndall for NCAA issues can't be the same people now that want them to go out and hire Bruce Pearl because he also has NCAA issues. The problem with it is when you have the things like the petition, we know what goes on. We know it's a handful of people here in town. But the problem is national media perception. It's the problem of the coaches that are calling my phone asking me, what's that Tennessee job like? Because nationally, because of a small amount of people that want to gravitate towards some petition, nationally it makes this program look bad when really it's a great, great job. But with this thing that people keep throwing out there, it's hurting the chances of that administration being able to go hire a really good coach.
Well, I think most coaches would look at it and say, do I want to walk in there like Conzo Martin did and have the specter of Bruce Pearl behind me at all times? So let me throw out something. We got a graphic here. Clay Travis from Fox Sports. The Brucers are back. Clay Travis has already tried to fan the flames a little bit. Someone started a GoFundMe internet account so Vol fans could chip in to buy out Pearl down at Auburn. We took that last night. They were $270. Late last night, they were about $450. Travis wrote, it's an interesting window into the vast majority of the how the vast majority of the fan base feels go get Bruce Pearl. If the vast majority is only at $600, I don't know, $400 or $500, I don't know that he's right on that one. But we'll see how much that could be the new thing, because once ESPN gets a hold of that GoFundMe account, a lot of coaches are going to see it. Another internet rumor started floating around yesterday. This one supposedly from the Auburn side. This person posted that he had firsthand knowledge that Pearl has reached out to UT about its opening. This was done through his agent. He's willing to pay a large portion of his own buyout to get the job. His wife wants to be back home. It almost killed him playing in Thompson Bowling Arena last year, and he didn't like it. Mark, are you buying that one?
No. I mean, Coach Pearl right now is vacationing out of the country, doesn't have a legitimate agent. I have pretty good sources. In fact, the family and Coach Pearl himself. So I don't know who his legitimate source is, but I think we can squash that one.
Okay.
Can we go back to that picture of Pearl with the V, because there was some right next to it that I recognized.
Let me ask Michael here, and the reason I wanted you out here today, you moved in to Knoxville last fall, so you were watching the Pearl NCAA issue, and then the petition thing from outside this bubble. I think a lot of people inside the bubble think it's not that bad. Those of us in the media think, oh my God, it's horrible outside the bubble. Probably somewhere in between. How does UT's job look to someone outside of Tennessee?
Dysfunctional, in a word. And I think that was the case when Conzo left, and now it's even more the case because he got Donnie Tyndall, who wasn't even here for a calendar year. I came across an article from April of 2014 that said, Tennessee is the most dysfunctional athletics department in the country right now. I think it's even more so now today than it was at this point last year.
Bobby, go ahead, Mark.
Well, I think the one thing with it is football. I think that's slowly starting to make it look where it's not as dysfunctional
stable
as
in one
it was,
area.
because Butch Jones has stabilized that huge portion. Talk about that donorship. Let's thank Butch and his staff for the funding.
You can't spell
Absolutely.
dysfunctional without a U and a T.
You've been using that all week. It's pretty good. You've been talking to Spurrier. I'm going to ask all three of you guys this, and Bob, I'll start with you. How does this job look? We got a little graphic here that goes with this story. Yeah, there we go. But over the last 20 years, this coaching graveyard, you're looking at coaches who have lost and been fired, who've won and been fired, like Jerry Green, who've won and been fired for cheating, like Pearl, like Tyndall, guys who are just not really accepted, like a Jerry Green or Conzo Martin, and then some guys that said it's a football school, I don't have a chance, like Kevin O'Neill. Do coaches pay attention to that fact right there, do you think?
I think once you get into the Green Peterson era, yeah, because you look at it and it has been, you don't want to use the phrase train wreck, but maybe a train came off the tracks and is kind of leaning one side. I do think it looks bad. I think it looks bad because last year you went to the Sweet 16 and couldn't reach a deal with your coach, who had a pretty good recruiting class. Not
In
great,
hindsight, yeah.
but by golly, it was pretty good compared to what you've got now. And you couldn't reach a deal with him. And people say, well, they offered him a raise and he still left. Yes, they did offer him a raise and he still left. But they offered him a box of socks as a buyout.
Guys, do you think coaches are paying attention to this? I don't see any way around it, because last year you wound up going to Louisiana Tech, got turned down, had to go to Southern Miss and get a guy with an NCAA background. I think coaches do pay attention to what's happened at Tennessee.
I do too, and in particular those that are proven coaches like a Greg Marshall. They pay more attention to it. The mid-major guy, he's going to look, I think, and see, well, Pearl was able to get this thing. Look what he was able to do. Coaches have egos, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of them are going to say, well, I can recapture a lot of what Bruce Pearl did. And I still think Tennessee's one of the top 4 jobs in the SEC.
When it's on the rails.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Mike, I'll let you finish out this segment.
Well, yeah, I think if you're a coach, you have to, right? If you're not looking at all that's going on, then you're not doing your due diligence when it comes to you taking your next job. So if you're a coach out there looking at this and saying, maybe do I want this Tennessee job, you have to look at everything that's happened, or else you're not doing you're not doing yourself any good.
I lied. I'll let you finish, actually.
Well, first off, coaches, hopefully they vet the whole process beforehand. But just at this point, high major coaches and assistants that have contacted me about it, they're more cautious, and as opposed to those mid-major guys, mid-major staff members who are said, do you think you can win at Tennessee? Yeah. So to your point, the mid-major is more excited about an opportunity, as a high major is cautious.
Well, just to throw one of the hot names out there, he's only been a coach for 2 years, but Bobby Hurley, you could be at Buffalo, or you could be at Thompson Bowling Arena, where even in a down year, you're ranking in the top 15 in attendance. Mm-hmm. So yes, it is still an attractive job. The trick is, it's going to take a real sales job from Dave Hart, and we'll have to see if he's got that in him. Okay, I haven't seen it yet.
And the fan base.
And the fan base. You need to stop with the fund Bruce Pearl thing, because that doesn't help anything. Michael Spencer, folks can tune in tonight. I know you got to get back to work with Michael Spencer.
Yeah, Mike will be with me tonight at 6 Sports Sunday at 11:35.
Sounds good. Powered by the Sports Source, by the way.
Powered by the Sports Source.
Very good. Michael Spencer from 6 News. Always watch this guy. Keep up with the coaching search with 6 News. I don't know if you checked out their new look yet or not, but just a renaissance at WATE. All right, when we come back, should Dave Hart have been fired along with Donnie Tyndall? It's been a hot topic this week. We'll discuss. Come on back to the Sports Source.